As you know, it made big news when they unveiled a progressive unity platform together in July. But now Joe Biden taking jabs at Bernie Sanders in a pitch to the people of Wisconsin.
If you could address our camera directly, talk to the voters that are worried about socialism and you raising taxes.
I beat the socialists. That's how I got elected. That's how I got the nomination. Do I look like a socialist? Look at my career, my whole career. I am not a socialist.
Okay, here with reaction, Republican from Texas, Congressman Dan Crenshaw, also not a socialist. Congressman, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning.
So if you are a Bernie Sanders supporter who Joe Biden would love to have you vote for him and show up at the polls in November or early vote for him or absentee or whatever, when you hear Joe Biden say that about their guy, Bernie, what does that say to you?
Hard to put myself in the shoes of a socialist. You've got to do a lot of mental gymnastics in order to do so. I do think socialists do feel comfortable in the Democrat Party. I don't know that this changes it. Let's not forget, Bernie Sanders thought, well, if you can't beat him, join him. And he did join Joe Biden's campaign. He is on his advisory board. Joe Biden may have forgotten that, but the rest of us did not forget that he does have multiple socialists on his advisory board, including AOC, Bernie Sanders, Ed Markey. Remember, these are the authors of Medicare for All and the Green New Deal. So, you know, whether Joe Biden wants to separate himself from it or not, the reality is socialism does have a home over there.
It does appear. Meanwhile, when you look at some activities that some Democratic mayors and governors are doing as well, some people say, well, it kind of smacks of socialism. When you look at, for instance, in St. Paul, the mayor there is using $300,000 to provide, using some of the CARES Act money for the coronavirus response, using that money for a guaranteed income for some essential workers. And then in Michigan, governor there spending something like millions of dollars on free college for 600,000 essential workers. What do you make of these, and does that drift away from the original intent of the CARES Act?
Yeah, well, it certainly does. I mean, the CARES Act is intended to help people with basic needs during a very difficult time when government itself forced people out of their jobs and out of their livelihoods. I think what this looks like is Democrat governors and mayors perhaps just paying off constituencies that they believe should support them. That's often the case with some of these programs. Let's not forget the real issue here. For the third time, Nancy Pelosi blocked any more aid to people who need it. Okay, and this is important stuff. Whether it's helping people who are unemployed, or additional testing, whatever it is, they blocked that in the Senate. Wouldn't even vote on what passed out of the Senate on a party line vote. This is very frustrating to people. We don't understand why we can't just help the small businesses that have been forced to shut down and need to rehire workers and get our economy back on track. And in blue states, you're seeing this constantly. You know, compare Texas and California. California has almost double the unemployment rate that Texas has. And yet our COVID numbers ended up being about the same. So it just goes to show who has actually handled this better and who protected livelihoods while also protecting lives.
Sure. And you were talking about additional stimulus. When you look at what has happened in the House in the last 24 hours, it sounds like Nancy Pelosi has done a deal with Steve Mnuchin. They figured out a way to fund the government, essentially. They've kicked the can down past the election. That's critical for both sides. Let's just get the election out of the way. But when it comes to actually putting money in the pockets of people who are being hurt by the pandemic because of their jobs and whatnot, the two sides can't get along. It's just super political.
Well, and that's only partly true. You know, everything that was passed out of the Senate is agreed upon by Democrats. Right. The Democrats just won't vote for it because they think it should be triple the size. Right. That's my point. Well, come on. I mean, you know, and I can never outspend a Democrat. But we already agree on this certain block of aid for the American people and for our small businesses. A lot of people are asking, why can't you guys just pass what you already agree on? And that question needs to go to Democrats. No kidding. All right. One of the things the Democrats are saying right now on Capitol Hill and elsewhere is, with this Supreme Court pick, essentially what the Republicans are going to do is they were going to wind up, you know, they're going to litigate the Affordable Care Act. The Republicans will take away your health care. Not true. You've actually got a personalized health care plan that you're unveiling today. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Let's not forget 2018. The biggest lie that Democrats told was that Republicans were not for people with pre-existing conditions. They've spread that lie constantly.
Right.
This year, the other lie is that we're against lowering drug prices. No, we have different solutions for these problems. And we have different solutions for health care. We want more personalized health care, more choice in your health care. One of my favorite models is direct primary care. So primary care is your entryway into the health care system. That's the doctor-patient relationship that you need, that you want. You don't want an insurance company in the way. You don't want a government bureaucrat in the way. So direct primary care is basically, it's like a subscription service. On the average across the nation, it's about $75 a month. This is a really popular model. I want the model to grow exponentially. So how do we do that? I've got a bill that basically facilitates its growth through Medicaid, through more rural programs, and through Medicare as well. So, I mean, it's a realistic, incremental step to get direct primary care out there, and I'm really excited about it. And I think it can get bipartisan support, or at least it should.
Well, it's a great idea. Let's see what happens up on Capitol Hill. You never know, as you know. Dan Crenshaw, thank you, sir, for joining us live today.